rescuers took to roads that suddenly posed as rivers.
Stay as close as you can to those signs over there.
Street signs along the way, the best indication of just how high that water rose. Here's what that part of Pawleys Island normally looks like, though not with Hurricane Ian.
If you don't need to go outside in the wind right now, stay inside. If you don't need to drive anywhere, don't drive. Be careful.
This is coastal South Carolina, battered by Ian's second landfall. People who live this close to the Atlantic often know what to expect. Some elevated their homes long ago, but not everything holds in conditions like these. This shed just floated away. A major bridge seen shaking as the storm pummeled some spots with sustained winds of 140 kilometers an hour. Watch this pier, torn apart.
Oh, man.
I think people just don't realize how dangerous it is to be out in these types of conditions.
Canadians who flock to Myrtle Beach know all about its sandy shore, but by the afternoon there was hardly any of that to be seen, as firefighters helped some who stayed home to now get out. At this resort called Water's Edge, the name hardly tells the story, with those waves rushing in, even flooding all around the indoor pool. The Carolinas didn't get hit the way Florida did, but
it's just dangerous after the storm too. All right. So for communities watching, just you got to be careful getting outside. There's power lines down, there's debris.
Indeed, that debris will be washing ashore for some time yet, with the storm moving inland, leaving coastal communities cleaning up after Ian. Thomas Daigle, CBC News, Toronto.
Let's bring in CBC News senior meteorologist Johanna Wagstaff. And Joe, the storm is less powerful, but still very much a threat. So take us through the next few hours.
Yeah, that's right. This storm is now post-tropical, so it's lost its tropical energy as it moves farther inland, but waves on the back end of this system will still bring the threat of storm surge tonight along the coast of the Carolinas. But let me take you through the track map. As it continues to move north, still packing a lot of moisture, so considerable flooding still expected from Florida right up to southern Virginia through to Sunday before the storm finally fizzles out, Ian.
And Joe, we've known about climate change playing some role in more frequent, more powerful storms, but we're getting a more precise idea of how it's made this storm worse.
That's right. So a group of scientists has now quantified what climate change added to one specific part of this storm, and that is it created at least 10% more rain. So this study was done immediately after the storm made landfall in Florida. It's not peer-reviewed, but the same scientists have used this method before. They basically ran multiple computer scenarios of Hurricane Ian hitting Florida, everything the same, but in a world with no human-caused climate change. So the waters weren't as warm and the atmosphere couldn't hold as much moisture. So 10% might not sound like a lot, but on 600 millimeters, which is what parts of Florida will have received, that's another 60 millimeters, which does add up. And again, this is just rainfall, Ian. We'll have to stay tuned in the weeks to come to find out the overall impact of climate change.
Thanks, Johanna.
You're welcome.